this street gallery in 23 Place des Vosges, so welcome. So we're gonna start this little tour with one of our favorite artists. His name is Bruno Catalano. Bruno Catalano is a French artist and he's specialized in working with bronze. He's always making some what we call the travelers. And travelers are a reference to immigrants. So the moment when you are leaving your own country to go to another one, so you kind of left something behind, this missing part of the body to symbolize that. And then you're going further with your suitcase because you always go further, you're not staying where you are. So come on. So as you can see, we have several pieces from different artists. So the new one, it's Jan Adler, and he's an Israeli artist. We just received his work like 2 days ago. And it's what we call an eclectic artist because he didn't have just one medium, he has several mediums. So this one is made with wire. It's a woman, and so it's the closer you get, the more abstract it is, so it's very interesting. Then you have very abstract work, and these are more what we know in contemporary art, in abstract art. With the color and everything, you feel the references to Gerhard Richter, who makes some line like this. Also as well, the artists like figurative parts, so you can see one over here. And this one is an homage to the story of Alice in Wonderland, so you can recognize all the tiny details like mushroom, the mud eater, the card, everything, the clock. So it's very interesting to have someone who is not just stuck in one medium. It's interesting to have several, assets to your work. So then we're going to go back there because that's all the artists I want to show. So when we saw the gallery, so the gallery is 20 years old, it's kind of an old gallery. We were more specialized in bronze sculpture, so we had this kind of artist, his name is Jesus Correa, over here and here. And you have this masterpiece just behind you. So Correa is very what we call in the legacy of the Spanish painting by using several mediums like bronze, iron, and sometimes woods. And 1 year ago we decided that we wanted to get more urban and more contemporary, so we choose different artists using different medium. So we have Isabelle Chassin, she's using glass, also as well as Dylan Martinez, the water glass over here. And then you have the new artists like Joe Suzuki. So Joe Suzuki, who is a Japanese artist who is quite known for different work, and us, we have a crush on this series about Kunst. And what the funny part about these pieces, and they are unique and handmade by the artist compared to Kunst, because Kunst, we know he never touched his artwork because he has this kind of industry. And then we have different artists, like I'm going to show you a French one. So Pimax, so Pimax just over here. So you recognize the famous love of Robert Indiana, and what we call the melting love. So this material, as well as the tomato soup, which is an homage to the famous Andy Warhol. They are a kind of mixed media with medium that he recycled. As he's a urban artist, he never took something new. He always liked to take old material and create an artwork from it. Then behind you, you have one of your colleagues, because he's Canadian, is Joshua Jensen-Nagel. So Joshua Jensen-Nagel is a photographer who is known on the international scene for his several pictures, but his strength in the photography, it's how he treats the image itself. So as you can see on tiny details, that every color is changed by the artist himself manually. It's not something done by Photoshop or whatsoever. So he prints it on a very large scale, he changed the color, and then you have this kind of very translucent color. He's a kind of Polaroid addict. And that's why you recognize, you have the feeling you have to have a giant Polaroid. So we do have several species, like we have this one is in Australia. The one you showed previously was in the Italian Riviera. Then you got this one is in Portugal, and this one over here is a Dead Sea. And this is one of my favorite because I love how abstract the work is. Like, it could be just a painting, not none of it. There over here you have Korea as well. So Korea is also good to make mural sculpture because we do have some demand, because some people are really addicted to sculptures and not into painting or photography, and they have too many sculptures but nothing to put in a wall. And we are very lucky to have an artist who's able to do both. So I'm going to bring you to the upstairs. You can find here and here some tiny sculpture of Resist Korea. So here is a room I dedicated to one of my favorite artists, who is Juan Miguel Palacios. Juan Miguel Palacios is actually based in Brooklyn, in New York. And what he does is an art installation with cement, wood, vinyl and painting. So it's a kind of mixed media between sculpture, painting and even art installation, because everything is handmade by the artist, even the frame. So it's very interesting to have several pieces of different sizes. Then we have also my two favorite artists, who are Picciavo. So Picciavo are quite super famous right now because they make a lot of work recently, especially during Miami last year, during Art Basel. And we are lucky to have some sculpture of them, which is rare because, you know, our urban artists are famous for painting most of the time, but we never know that they could make some sculpture. So we really love this kind of mix between ancient and new, like having a kind of Greek portrait, and then you can see all the graffiti drawn by the artists over here. So, for example, this is a sign, and this is the famous signature of them. If you see this on the street, you know that it's Picciavo. Then over here you have a famous star in Paris. His name is Nouf. And Nouf, you can find it everywhere in Paris. If you're walking around, you're gonna see someone written Pimax and this little red dog over here. Obviously, this little red dog is an homage to the famous Kissaring, the Hungarian dog. But this one has teeth, so I'm not that sure it's that nice. Also in sculpture, we do have another Greek artist. His name is Sake. Sake used to work in the tattoo industry, and then he turned himself to be more an artist. So he started to make fresco, and then he started to make sculpture. So we have these new pieces which are made of several objects he found in antique shop, and then you have all this spray painting and all the tattoo part over here. And also I want to introduce you a French one. His name is Alben. Alben is what we say a sculpture with using only resin. So this is a moulage on a real scoop case, and this is what we call the suitcase with candies. Like for us as French, you represent what we dream of when we were kids. You know, all the candies ideas in the 80s. And what you can see over here is everything we dream of. So it's a kind of homage to our own childhood. So this is all the artists we represent permanently at the gallery. So this, most of the pieces you've seen are new creation. And what we have here is always a partnership with the artist, so we always following a kind of direct line with them. For example, we are working, we are representing, we are defending him on the them on the international scene, art scene. So it's involved that we go to their own studio, we choose the artwork we like of them to evolve. You know, sometimes we have some artists that are kind of stuck, they don't know where to move, and we're like, okay, this time you need to work with this medium, or maybe this other medium. So that's a nice I started studying art in a young age. You know, I make fine art studies, then I make business art school, and then I get lucky, I get my first job in a gallery, and then you move on to another one and another one. And I hope it's not the end, it's just the beginning of a long stories with artists.
So what's it like to promote artists?
For me, this is a nice part of the job. It's not about selling, it's really about defending, because sometimes you can have someone who's not sensible to the artist's work, and you have to explain why he's contemporary, why he is an artist, and why he is important, what kind of let's say subject he wants to defend himself. For example, we work with an artist named Louis Massai. And Louis Massai is really someone who defends endangered species, animals. So we make a huge exhibition with a partnership with WWF. So it was very interesting for us, you know, to also organize an exhibition, but also talking about what's going on in the world. We made also another show with another artist talking about global warming. So it's really interesting because it's not just about having some artworks and sold them in art markets. It's also the artists nowadays represent the world. They are the new creation, so it's interesting to see their point of view, because they have, as us as well, a lot of things to say, and working and defending these artists is the best part of the job.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye bye.